hard time relaxing after work? Have you ever had a glass of wine or an ice-cold beer to help you unwind? Ever considered smoking marijuana? Marijuana is one of the most misunderstood substances we have today. Having grown up in a family where marijuana is considered a relaxing mechanism, it has influenced me to search the topic on a higher level. By the end of my speech, you will understand the history of marijuana, the good aspects that smoking provides, and also the bad effects as well. Marijuana is a cannabis sativa plant. Dried parts of the plant is what is referred to the actual marijuana. Buds are formed on the plant, which are then dried and you are able to smoke or cook with. Some street names for the plant are weed, Mary Jane, cannabis, and herb. How marijuana is used. Marijuana can either be smoked, eaten, pill form, or drank. Some examples here are some paraphernalia. There are water bongs, joint papers, a roller to break up the weed as well. We have another water pipe here, a joint that looks like the form of a cigarette, and also a cigar rolled with marijuana. Here are some edible candies, some brownies, a cannabis tea, and also some cereal Rice Krispie treats. Marijuana is the third most recreational drug today, followed shortly behind alcohol and tobacco. 25 million Americans have smoked marijuana in the past year recreationally. Marijuana originated in 2727 BC. In 1545, cannabis spread through the Middle East and throughout the Islamic Empire, and then eventually it ended up in North America. In North America, cannabis was used for household items such as rope, clothing, and paper. Here are some creams that are used for cannabis, a belt, and some shoes. Hemp products are also known for their long-term lasting products. In 1960s, 1970s, Woodstock was a big concert venue for hippies. Marijuana became very huge across the whole venue, and its symbol was sex, drugs, and rock and roll. It was where people could be free, have fun, and smoke and listen to music for a whole weekend. Shortly after, according to the Los Angeles Huffington Post, Congress passed the Controlled Substances Act, classified where marijuana is has a high potential for abuse and is not acceptable for medical use. The advantages of marijuana use. There are more than 20 states that have legalized medical marijuana. Recreational use for the drug is still controversial, but many people agree it should be used for medical purposes. Who can marijuana help medically? Marijuana can help spread cancer, decrease anxiety, slows Alzheimer's disease, eases multiple sclerosis pain. Marijuana treats inflammatory bowel disease. It can be used for glaucoma. It may help reverse the carcinogenic effects of tobacco and improve lung health. It can help epileptic seizures, and it also can help cure symptoms of a severe seizure disease called Dravet's syndrome. Patients gain from medical marijuana is ease of pain relief, nausea relief, spasticity, glaucoma, and movemental disorders. Marijuana is also a powerful appetite stimulant specifically for patients with HIV or dementia. Marijuana is here are pictures of a medical marijuana bag. So when you go to a medical marijuana selling place, you get a medical marijuana card, which you get from your doctor. Then you can purchase the marijuana, and this is just a medical marijuana sign. Where is medical marijuana legal for medical use? There are 23 legal states for medical marijuana use. Here is on the map, the darker ones are medical marijuana use. The ones in the light green you may purchase for recreational and medical use. Colorado's impact from medical marijuana legalization. When medical marijuana first became about there, within the first 3 months, for recreational use, Colorado had developed $7.3 million in taxes. When adding on the medical purchases, their taxes jumped to $12.6 million. Crime rate has also dropped dramatically since the legal use of marijuana. The negative sides of marijuana use. According to the Drug-Free World, there are short-term and long-term effects from marijuana use. Some of the short-term side effects are sensory distortion, panic, anxiety, poor coordination movement, lowered reaction time. After an up, users feel sleepy or depressed, and an increased heartbeat, which is also a risk for heart attack. Some of the long-term effects are the suppression of the immune system, reduce of male sex hormones, personality and mood changes, and also growth disorders. Why do recreational users do drugs? They sometimes do them to fit in, to revel, to get away at a sense of relaxation, to relieve boredom, or to experiment with new things. How marijuana smoking can affect your daily life. Anymore, you will need to take a drug test for a job. So if you smoke, it'll take about 30 days to get out of your system, so it could really impact you on getting a job. Also, if you are under the influence of marijuana on the job, it could harm someone else, harm you, it could harm your job. You could end up, you're risking your job by being under the influence. Marijuana is also a gateway drug because when it is offered at parties for the younger adults, there are most likely to be other drugs there that can get you a more powerful high than marijuana gives you, and it will lead them on to more things that could really affect them in the long term. Some more facts about marijuana. It boomed and became a popular drug. The pros and cons that impacted since becoming legal. The United States is continuing to make it legal for medical and recreational use today. The next states most likely to legalize marijuana for recreational use are Alaska, Massachusetts, and Oregon. In summary, marijuana is one of the most popular drugs we have today. The history goes all the way back to 2727 BC. There are good sides of marijuana use and also bad. I hope you now have a better understanding of why so many Americans turn to it today. Thank you.